The Mercedes W15 has just been launched, and the team hopes that with their new challenger, they will finally be able to fight for victories again. The team dominated Formula One from 2014 until 2021, but the last 2 seasons saw them struggle to keep up with rivals. The W13 and W14 were underperforming as compared to the Red Bulls, and both drivers of the team complained about the drivability and unpredictability of their cars. But now, with the W15, Mercedes hopes to have fixed all the issues and developed a drastic new concept for the car. Toto Wolff first confirmed in November that the team would change direction and develop an entirely new car for 2024. "We are changing the concept. We are completely moving away from how we laid out the chassis, the weight distribution, the airflow. I mean, literally, there's almost every component that's being changed because only by doing that, I think we have a chance." Mercedes unveiled their new challenger in a digital livestream, and the event had Toto Wolff, Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell in attendance. The team pulled the cover off, and the first shocking aspect of the car was the livery. Mercedes has typically alternated between a mostly black livery or an all-silver one, with the car focusing on one primary color. But for this year, they have combined both design themes to launch a car that is the signature black in the rear, with a silver front section. The design is bold, as is the message they are trying to send with this one, combining the best aspects of their best cars. It also features a blue stripe on either side of the front of the car with the Petronas branding, which makes the car pop even more. Team principal Toto Wolff explained the reasoning behind the change and why they decided to bring back the silver paint, especially when most teams removed paint from their cars to reduce weight. "Performance was always at the forefront of our minds with the black livery last year," Wolff told the press. "Weight is a crucial factor in this current generation of cars. We knew that once we were in a position to do so, we would bring back the Mercedes silver to accompany the black that has become a pillar of our team identity. The livery truly reflects who we are as a team, with the distinctive colors of Ineos and Petronas providing important highlights. The drivers expect this car to finally give them what they need to compete with Verstappen and others, and with this being Lewis Hamilton's last season in the team, the Brit seems pleased with what the team has been able to put out. He stated, "I know what this team is capable of. I am incredibly grateful for the work of every single person in this team. Every time you're in the factory, you can see the sheer drive and determination of everyone. We are all mega motivated for the year ahead, and will be giving it everything we've got on the journey ahead." George Russell also felt happy with the W15. He commented on how they improved on the unpredictability and drivability of the W14, which decreased the driver's confidence in the car. Russell added, "We made progress with some of the nastier characteristics of the W14 throughout last year, but we still had a narrow operating window, and once we were outside of that, the car was difficult to drive. If we can continue to widen the operating window of the car, that will provide confidence for us as drivers, and from there, lap time is easier to find." Apart from the livery, the car also looks completely different from the W14, with new side pod designs, a new front wing and nose, and a different rear side. Wolff was not overstating when he said that the car will not share many parts with its predecessor, as it seems Mercedes has returned to the drawing board with this one. The new side pods differ significantly from the W14, which had side pods installed mid-season, after Mercedes' zero-pod design failed to provide the promised improvements. An interesting new innovation Mercedes made this year comes down to the front wing, where looking at the topmost part of the car, we can see that it is not directly connected to the car. According to the rulebook, this is not entirely legal. However, Mercedes found a loophole and connected a wire between the car and the wing, which means that technically the winglet is connected to the car. It will be interesting to see how Mercedes plays through with this design and how beneficial it is to their performance, but it will indeed cause a stir within the grid. We will have to see if they can get it approved by the FIA, but it certainly looks to be a massive change. Wolff also had a lot to say about the car, claiming that the team achieved a lot with this new concept, making it better in all aspects. Wolff said, "This is a complete relaunch of a car. It is very different, not only aerodynamically, but underneath the car too. There have been so many mechanical changes which we hope will translate into more performance, more predictability, and a car the drivers can really push. The most important thing is to look inward, and what is it that we got wrong? We found some clues, we tried to eliminate as many variables as we could, and the buzz in the company is something I have not seen for so many years. We know it is a big mountain to climb, because if a team is so far ahead like Red Bull were last year, then it is not easy. But we have a superb driver combination and hopefully a fast car. There are some good ingredients to be back at the front again. This year, Mercedes has replaced its pull rod rear suspension system with a push road rear system and moved the cockpit towards the rear, which is supposed to help with aerodynamics. Furthermore, the gearbox has also been changed, and the design of the cockpit itself is also different than last year, which allowed them to make the floor more aerodynamic. Although their cockpit is still around 10 cm further than Red Bull's, it should allow more control of the car's rear. But this has forced them to change how the exposed upper side impact bar works. It was previously used to enhance the airflow around the floor edges, but is no longer set up for that. Another main focus has been the car's rear axle, which was the main contributor to the unpredictability of last year's Challenger. The design of any car is an iterative process, and a long one at that, Technical Director James Allison explained. It stretches back to last year. A new car enables the team to make bigger alterations that are not possible during the season. These are decisions that are taken during the preceding summer. A big focus has been on improving the previous car's unpredictable rear axle. We have worked hard to ensure that both axles, but particularly the rear axle, retain better control of the tyre than on the W14. There's also been some housekeeping on areas in which we had room for improvement, including the DRS effect and pit stop performance. We feel like we have had a good winter, but F1 is a relative game, and only time will tell how big a step we've made. We're focused on getting the most from the car we launch, but we are excited by the development rate that will follow, as the regulations are still young and opportunities abound. Mercedes aims that all these changes will be enough to finally put them back at the top. The team took the car out on Silverstone as part of the 200 kilometers allotted to every team for filming purposes. The team was forced to run the car on wet tires due to the rain, so there would not have been much important information, but it was interesting to see the team put the car on track in the soaking wet. Pre-season testing begins on the 21st of February, with the first race weekend beginning 1 week later in Bahrain. Mercedes will have to show some good numbers on track if they want to compete for the title this year. And with Hamilton leaving for Ferrari next year, it will be sensational to watch him race with the Silver Arrows for the last time. With the new livery and all the hype regarding the changes the team has made over the winter break, Mercedes will be the center of the spotlight. And only time will tell whether they can compete with the dominant Red Bull team. They would also face fierce competition from Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin, who have launched competitive-looking cars. What do you think of the W15? Is the new livery too striking, or does it balance the two designs perfectly? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Formula One news.